You know, they say that chivalry is dead. But then they also say that Elvis and Tupac are not dead. So I don't really have a point to make about that. It's just confusing. Greetings, Earthlings and frag commies. My name is Luke. I am Poe. Welcome to another edition of Luke is Poe Fragrance Reviews, a place where ultimately you will be underwhelmed and disappointed. But you know, if you say that at the top of the episode, I feel like the expectation has been set so low, we have nowhere to go but up. On this episode, we're talking about a fragrance that has made the rounds more than once in fragcomm. It is Bentley for Men Intense. First things first, though, let's give a shout out to Uncommon Sense. My guy sent me this bottle for free. If you go check out his live streams, he might send you stuff for free too. I'll include his channel in the description below. He's doing great things on his live stream. Really encourage you guys to go check him out. Great energy, really fun vibes, all around great guy. Shout outs to Uncommon Sense. What I'd like to talk about today is the juxtaposition between boozy and classy. I mean, what does that look like? Does that mean, hey, I'll open the door for you because I'm a gentleman, but I might yak on your dress because I've had too many Jaeger bombs? I mean, where's the fine line between being that classy gentleman that you want to bring home to mom and dad, but then also just not being absolutely poop-faced at the dinner table? Don't you worry, little lady. I've got the check. Bentley for Men Intense kind of takes both worlds of the booze hound and the hoity-toity gentleman. When you first spray it on, you're going to just get blasted in the face with this strong rum note or accord. It is a really strong, boozy note, but it's also like a really ridiculously accurate rum. I mean, you can kind of smell the vanilla and the spices behind it. And almost so much that vanilla is a prominent note to my nose, but it's not listed anywhere. Other than that, you're going to get spices such as cinnamon, and then you're going to get kind of a ambery, powdery, leathery base. Now that leather isn't going to be kind of a rugged leather like you'll find in maybe a Tuscan leather, but it's going to be more of a suede leather, but with that booziness, it kind of gives it more of a rough and tumble vibe. I know I kind of just went back and forth on that, but that's because sometimes I smell this fragrance and it is that smooth Bentley leather car seat. And then other times the rum note and the leather note are just so intertwined that it just kind of gives off that bad boy leather jacket kind of feel. Bergamot is a listed note in the opening, but I don't really get a whole lot of it. Maybe it adds to that sharpness of the rum opening. But what I do get that I really enjoy is this bay leaf note. And if you ever cooked or dropped a couple bay leaves in on like a crock pot or a pot roast, that is kind of what you get. It is very aromatic, yet kind of savory, and it really goes well with that boozy, vanillic rum. But after that first 30-minute mark, the opening is starting to fade, and then it's going to still be all about the rum and the leather and the kind of powdery, earthy patchouli you get in the mid with it, which is really nice. Performance and longevity on this one are fantastic. It is definitely firmly within the beast mode fragrances. It is a fragrance that if you go over 2 sprays, people will notice you, and maybe not for the best of intentions, let's just say, because that booze note, that rum note is so strong. I've had friends around fragcomm tell me that their significant other or their coworkers actually thought they had been drinking. I find if you just go 1 to 2 sprays, it is much more pleasurable scent in the air, maybe that scent bubble around you. Okay, man, like we know what it smells like or whatever, but like, what does it smell like? Boozy, authentic rum, earthy patchouli, quality leather, and a little bit of smoke with the incense in the base. This is Don Draper from the series Mad Men. If you haven't seen the series, you crawl out from under your rock because it was on like 10 years ago. It remains a classic. It is about the ad men of the 1950s, hence the name Mad Men. In this show, Don Draper is this put together, polished businessman type on the outside, but on the inside, he is anything but that. And especially when you cut away to a scene where he's drinking at the bar, it's like the only time in the show his tie is kind of all messy, his hair is not all put together, and it's like you either have the buttoned up Don Draper in every other scene looking pristine, or you have him poop-faced and plowed drinking with his friends after work. He did have this kind of saying he would use in the show where if someone was coming to him and he didn't really know what to say, or they were being a little bit emotional, he would just say, "Tell me what you want to hear." Now, full disclosure, Don Draper is a womanizing character that almost kind of glamorizes his objectification of women, and that's not what I want to highlight right now. I'm just trying to maybe put this in a time period where it's a little bit more old school, a little bit of that gentlemanly vibe, but also with a very boozy, almost sort of bad boy aura around it. Fun fact, met John Hamm at a St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame museum. Big Cardinals fan. Shorter than what he appears in real life. I'm about 6 foot and he was maybe about the 5'8", 5'9" range. So all those tall angles in Mad Men, that's kind of fake news. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons of maybe why you should take a look at this fragrance, consider purchasing it, or why you should maybe move on. The pros are obviously all about the quality of the scent and the price tag. This one was given to me for free, but I have seen it as low as the $19 mark for a 50 ml. This is a fragrance that is light years ahead of that price point. It could easily be north of $200, and it wouldn't be far-fetched after smelling this to see why, because it is so quality. I really hate this term, but until we find a different term that means the same thing, it is niche quality. It is not within that designer realm of fragrances at that $20 mark that can smell very cheap or synthetic. This is not one of those. So if you're looking for something that's a very photorealistic rum, it's a very suede-like leather, that's not going to come across as cheap, that's going to have good lasting power, all the best things for your buck, this is it. Now on to the cons of maybe why this fragrance isn't for you. If you don't like the darker fragrances, you will not like this one. It is more on that darker side with the rum, the leather, the incense, and the patchouli. If you do not like boozy fragrances, run away from this one because it is as boozy as it comes in men's fragrances. If you don't like leather, if you don't like scents that could be a bit retro or a bit gentlemanly, this is not going to be for you. If you kind of like what's trendy right now in men's perfumery within the designer realm of kind of that blue fragrance of the Bleu de Chanel's and the Sauvage and Dylan Blue, this is not even in the same galaxy as that. This is probably for a more mature gentleman or a younger guy that can appreciate those kind of scents, because I would not like to think of myself as a mature gentleman, but I kind of really enjoy the old school scents. I think if you're in those latter two categories, you're really going to like this one. And I can't help but say this is a slam dunk of a fragrance. It is long-lasting, beast mode performance, smells unique, smells natural. It is a fragrance that for the price point, it is nothing but highway robbery. Shout outs to Bonnie and Clyde, I guess. That will wrap things up for me today, fragcommies. Thank you for joining me in another edition of Luke is Poe Fragrance Reviews. Have you tried this one before? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Or if you haven't tried this one, don't leave a comment and go buy it instead. I'm not getting paid from Bentley. I just think that everyone should smell a little boozy this holiday season.